This year's NFL draft class has a group of receivers who is expected to be one of the best, if not the best, in recent memory. So in today's video, we'll talk about some of the top receivers and which one is the very best. Let's get right into it. If you haven't already, please remember to like this video and subscribe. It just goes a long way in showing your support and I would greatly appreciate it. But anyways, getting right into things, I wanted to start off with some honorable mentions because outside of the top three guys who we will be talking about to discuss which one of those guys is the best, there are still a ton of good receivers outside those top three. And I could easily see any one of these guys becoming the best receiver out of this class. They are just that talented. But anyways, getting into the first honorable mention, we have Justin Jefferson out of LSU. We have Jalen Reagor out of TCU. We have Denzel Mims from Baylor. T. Higgins from Clemson. KJ Hamler from Penn State. Laviska Shenault Jr. from Colorado. Michael Pittman Jr. from USC. And Brandon Ayuk out of ASU. Like I said, all of these guys are beasts, and I think all of them, depending on the situation they end up in and how they develop, could end up being the best receiver in this draft class. But anyways, getting into the first receiver who's on my top three list, who I really think has the potential to be the very best, we have CeeDee Lamb. Many people expect CeeDee Lamb to be the first receiver taken in this year's NFL draft, and for good reason. Right now, his NFL comparison is DeAndre Hopkins, and I'm not a huge fan of comparisons because every player is unique, but I definitely do see the similarities between CeeDee Lamb and DeAndre Hopkins. Both have great hands. CeeDee Lamb has arguably the best hands in the draft, and for some people that's not even arguable. Many people think that he has the best hands, period. His catch and traffic ability is very, very impressive. And also, the second thing that makes him a good comparison to DeAndre Hopkins is his yards after the catch ability. Now, despite not being the fastest or quickest dude, somehow CeeDee Lamb manages to rack up a ton of yards after the catch. And I think that this is because he is such a physical, strong receiver, which is another reason that he's compared to DeAndre Hopkins, because we all know that DeAndre Hopkins is a very, very physical receiver with great hands. So for the most part, just in general, their games just kind of look like each other's. CeeDee Lamb looks a lot like DeAndre Hopkins, and it's unfair, like I said before, to expect him to become the best receiver in the league like DeAndre Hopkins is, but I do think that they share a similar skill set, and I'm very excited to see CeeDee Lamb play at the next level. The next receiver that we have is Jerry Jeudy out of Alabama, and his NFL comparison is another Alabama receiver, Calvin Ridley. Now, Calvin Ridley in his own right hasn't yet reached his prime, and I still think that Calvin Ridley has a lot of room to improve and a lot of room to get even better. But the reason that Jerry Jeudy gets this comparison is because him and Calvin Ridley both are fantastic route runners. Jerry Jeudy is easily the best route runner in this year's NFL draft, and this is the reason that many people think he might be the safest pick at the receiver position in this draft. Jerry's ability to run any route and get open because of his crisp route running is a big reason that many people think he is possibly a safer pick than CeeDee Lamb. But his route running is far from his only skill. He also has great hands, and he isn't as physical or strong as CeeDee Lamb is, but he is still pretty physical and pretty strong, and he also has good speed as well. He's just an all-around very good receiver with excellent route running. So for that reason, many people think that Jerry Jeudy is possibly the most NFL ready receiver out of all of these guys, and he's probably the guy who will make an immediate impact no matter what team he goes to, and I would have to agree with this. The third and final receiver we will be considering for the best receiver in this year's NFL draft is Jerry Jeudy's teammate, Henry Ruggs III. Now, Henry Ruggs is a very, very exciting receiver, and I like to watch him a lot. He's just a human highlight film, and he is the fastest player in this year's NFL draft. Not just fastest receiver, fastest player, period. But like Jerry Jeudy, Henry Ruggs III is not just good at one thing. He is not just fast. He is not just a speed demon. He also has great hands, and he is also a very solid route runner as well. I think that if Henry Ruggs gets the ball in the open field, he is probably more deadly than any other player in this draft because of his insane speed. I like him a lot, and his NFL comparison is Tyreek Hill. Now, the concern with Ruggs is that he is slightly undersized, and these speedy, slightly smaller guys often have injury problems, but if he stays healthy, I think that he will be fine. And he, like I said, he's slightly undersized. He's not super undersized, he's not super small, so I don't think that staying healthy will be a huge issue for him. And if he can, he could very well be one of the best receivers, if not the best receiver in this draft, depending on what team he gets drafted to. I think that if a high-powered, pass a lot offense, a pass first offense that has other weapons like the Kansas City Chiefs do with Tyreek Hill, Travis Kelce, all the guys that they have on that team, I think that Henry Ruggs could be a star receiver for one of those type of teams. So now that we've kind of talked about each receiver and what they specialize in and why they should be considered some of the top receivers in this draft, who do I think is the best receiver in this draft? In my personal opinion, it's Jerry Jeudy. Now, not only is he the safest pick, like many people have been saying, so he's ready to make an immediate impact just because of his route running, because of his ability to get open. He doesn't need an elite quarterback to be giving him dimes to be effective. Jerry Jeudy can be effective no matter who he has because of his route running ability and also because of all the other skills that he has. But like I said, just his elite route running ability really sets Jerry Jeudy apart. Now, do I think that CeeDee Lamb has more potential than Jerry Jeudy? Probably. I think that CeeDee Lamb probably has the highest ceiling of any receiver in this draft, but in my opinion, his success early in his career is really going to depend on the system that he gets into. I have no doubt that CeeDee Lamb will be a good receiver, but I'm not sure how fast he will develop or how far he will develop depending on which team drafts him. Henry Ruggs is a guy who I think could easily be the best out of these three, but like I said, just the injury risk, and also he needs to go to a high-powered offense. He needs to go to a team who throws the ball a lot and has multiple weapons, and I think that he could be a very, very effective receiver in that situation. But, the chances of that happening, it's probably 50-50 that Henry Ruggs eventually lands on a team that actually does that for him. So in my opinion, Jerry Jeudy could be good on any team. Jerry Jeudy could be the number one option, the star receiver on any team, and he could be effective right away. So that's why, in my opinion, Jerry Jeudy is the best receiver in this draft. But like I said, all of the receivers, even the honorable mentions, any one of these guys could end up being a star receiver. Just leave your thoughts in the comment section down below who you think is the best receiver in this year's NFL draft, who your favorite receiver is, what your favorite team is. Let me know all that stuff in the comment section down below, and remember to like and subscribe if you enjoyed. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.